Hi everybody, Kat here. Welcome to the channel. It is Monday morning, and I tell you, the word on the lips of every royal this morning is security. Huge breach of security. It's been a theme with several royals for a while now. Now it's just everybody. It seems overnight there was a raid at Windsor. A couple of employees that work on a farm that's within the security ring in Windsor, I guess Windsor Great Park or whatever, anyway, a farm in there. Well, so they jumped a fence and they stole a 4x4 and another vehicle, a truck, I think. They rammed gates, and all the while this is going on, people, trespassing into Windsor, stealing vehicles, who knows what they're going to do next. William and Kate and the kids were like merely 5 minutes away. 5 minutes away at their home. There's no security. There was no security at that gate, which is getting in and out of Windsor, and I suppose there's several gates. I don't know how many. This particular gate, its proximity to the residences and stuff, I guess, it was one that was used by the royals most often. It was a very popular gate for use amongst the royals. No security at the gate, because apparently the current Labour government doesn't feel the need to provide the level of security. This is what I've heard, that the funding for and the orders to put security at certain points is up to the government. I guess there's a ruling body of who it might be the RAVEC, the same one that is that Harry is going up against, that organizational body that works with the police and the royal family to decide and make decisions on what level of security everybody gets. Presently, Harry's fighting his father's ministers in his father's courts to get a level of security that even surpasses that of his father's, the king. I mean, you couldn't make this up. So yeah, huge breach of security at Windsor. And this is not the first time this has happened. I mean, we've had stories of the Queen. Remember many years ago, that guy broke in, was sat on the end of her bed, and got right past all the security. I think that was at Buckingham Palace. I think she had another similar break-in maybe at Windsor. I know there's been a couple over the years. Where the hell is the security? This is insanity, and especially if, the taxpayers, we just had the royal report of all the incomes, and I went over that before, what they're spending their money on and the costs of things that are publicly funded, like their security and everything else. Well, maybe it seemed that Keir Starmer and the new Labour government isn't real keen on providing that level of security. So we're going to hear more about this. I'm sure something's going to have to be done, because that is a huge security breach at Windsor. As far as Harry goes, his court case rolls on. He's been allowed to come back again to court. I think it's in April or something. He's got so many court cases still going on. The phone hacking thing. He's got this security thing. The guy just wants everything from everyone all the time. He has no accountability for anything at all. Anyway, but yeah. And surprisingly, even though we hear all the time it's so unsafe for Harry to go back to Britain, well, in the last couple of months he's been globetrotting around the world just fine. I mean, he hasn't had Meghan in tow. She's nowhere to be seen. He just popped up last night. He popped up last night in, of all places, excuse me, my earpiece, in all places, Vancouver, British Columbia, here in Canada. He is there to do, I guess, some preparatory work in promotion for the Invictus Winter Games, which is going to be held in Vancouver and Whistler, the mountain venue. The Invictus Winter Games that are going to be happening in February. I have the dates here somewhere. I'm not sure. Oh, February 8th to 16th in Whistler and Vancouver. So he's there doing some promotion for it. Again, Meghan nowhere to be found. Like, we do know that just recently his head guy for the Invictus Games, one of that's been there since the beginning, has recently dropped out. There's been a lot of controversy about past Invictus Games and where's the money going to, and the amount of money billed back by Meghan for outfits and hotels, and I mean, it's just a madness, and nobody wants her there. So we'll have to, will she show up in February? It depends. We don't even know what's going on with them. They haven't been seen together for months. But so whilst yesterday, what else was going on was Canada's Grey Cup. That is our football championship game between the two top Canadian football teams. Canadian football rules a little bit different than American, and of course football, what you guys call football, we call soccer. It's American football, Canadian football. So a little bit of difference there, but whatever. But yeah, he shows up and he is sitting at the commentators panel, commenting. Who does he think he is? Gary Lineker. All of a sudden he's discussing Canadian football. It's just outrageous. But you can bet that Harry got his A1 status security while he's here. Oh yeah. The king is our head of state, and as corrupt as things are up here, and oh boy they are, I don't think they'd ever wish to put Harry in a dangerous position. He's going to get all the protection he wants up here, because I don't think Trudeau is a monarchist, but I think he also understands that his reputation worldwide is on a tiny, tiny thread, and he better not do anything to really offend someone, right? Letting something happen to Harry. It's so, I think Harry's just fine. He's going to be protected while he's here. How long he's going to stay here, who knows? I haven't heard. I imagine he'll be in Vancouver for 2 or 3 days. There'll be a dinner, there'll be a press conference, whatever. But that's the Invictus Games coming up. And you know what? Harry, the king, William and Kate, Windsor, Harry, they're not the only ones that are having security issues. Oh my gosh, well, we know all the trouble that Andrew's been having directly with the king. We know that just not too long ago, the king withdrew the funds to pay for to pay for Andrew and Fergie's security at Royal Lodge, the king was paying, I don't know, upwards of $2 million or something to have kind of round the clock security at Royal Lodge where Andrew and Fergie live. Don't forget, it's a 30 room mansion on 90 acres within the Windsor Great Park. Their own private security. Well, we also know that the king has been trying to get Andrew to vacate Royal Lodge. Now, and he said, I want you to move to Frogmore Cottage, the 5-bedroom home that Harry and Meghan used to live in. But, Andrew doesn't want to leave. And he said, well, I've got an ironclad lease. It was originally 75 years. There's another 50 left, which means it would go to the girls, kind of a thing, right? Or to Fergie, whatever. But it would... He can't be kicked out, basically. He was, coming up against the king and saying, you can't kick me out. Well, the king countered with, and even the government is saying, because it's public funding in part that to take care of these places unless you're taking care of it, right? So as to not impinge on the taxpayer any more than they do, but anyway, so Andrew, you're going to have to come up with all the money to keep for the upkeep of the place as well, which is another few millions. And everybody was saying, well, what's Andrew going to do? He's kind of stuck now because there's so much to be done. And all of a sudden, like within a couple of weeks of the press talking about this, all of a sudden Andrew pops up and, he's got the money to pay for the upkeep, no trouble. Just millions came in from him. Now the establishment, some government people, and some people that look at the royal family closely, like us and others, are kind of going, well, you know what? We want to know where Andrew got the money for this. How much did he get and where did it come from? Because, we've known for years that when Andrew was a special envoy to Great Britain, going overseas, talking business with all kind of, he ended up doing some very shady deals and getting a lot of, he had a lot of money kind of funneled his way from gun runners and terrorists and shady businessmen, wheeler dealers and sheiks and all of it, right? We know this about Andrew. So where'd the money come from? Well, it's probably come from someone somewhere in the vicinity of Saudi Arabia. He's got a lot of those friends. And you know how we can tell? Because just very recently, I think on the 9th of November, Eugenie popped up. At a conference in Abu Dhabi talking about AI. She spoke at a conference in Abu Dhabi talking about AI. What the hell does Eugenie, who I think got a BA in arts degree in college, what does she know about AI that she should be participating in an international conference? That's not why she's there. Whenever there's a deal to be done or a favor to be paid back on, you've got Beatrice out front. I've heard from some legitimate sources, do some research. when Sarah received that loan from Jeffrey on the island, and it was over $50,000, apparently to help clear some of the tax issues she was having at the time. Oh yes, somebody that you don't really know well, and Andrew described as, oh, he was Ghislaine's plus one till now. Of course, she sits in prison. He's got, he was saying, oh, she was my friend. Now that she's been popped for this, he's scared to say anything, right? The whole thing is terrible. But anyway, there's rumor that the quid pro quo for Jeffrey on the island was time spent with said daughter of Sarah and Andrew. It's not me saying it. There's several that have said this, and if it is, it's a very ugly truth. And the rumors about Andrew are probably worse than, we can even imagine. We don't want to imagine, but, here we go. There's pictures of them all with when the children were younger on the island. Family photos with a family friend on the island with the children, so now there's all this controversy for Andrew. Okay, you can afford the security now, you can afford the upkeep now. Where's this money coming from? Out pops, Eugenie. So that, you watch them long enough and you learn long enough, you can see the signals. This is okay. A deal was done somewhere. You always know a deal is done somewhere when Eugenie pops up. Ugly truth, but hey, it's true. But now we're in a position that there's, pressure on Andrew. What's he gonna say? Can he get away with saying nothing? Can the king get away with saying nothing, nobody being accountable of where this supposed influx of millions of dollars is coming from? We know that when the king had a similar influx of dollars coming from shady sheiks and grocery bags of millions of dollars at it, I think all told, between the 2 or 3 deals, there was something like $7 million in cash delivered to the king, that whole cash for honors thing. Well, he was Prince of Wales. Well, since he's been king, that's just disappeared. Nobody hears about that anymore. I guess it didn't happen. And we're in the same position now with Andrew. So he's facing even more scrutiny. Harry is in a similar boat. He's facing more scrutiny now that the whole row about his visa and the information it holds, and the challenge by the Heritage Foundation and them really trying to suppress the information. This is going to stir up trouble again. Now that the Biden administration is out, because the Heritage Foundation will have an opportunity to revisit things, and we know that Trump isn't a fan. He isn't a fan of Harry and Meghan. In fact, back in February, Donald Trump told the Daily Express, quote, "I wouldn't protect him. He betrayed the Queen. That's unforgivable. He would be on his own if it was down to me." So we can't expect Donald Trump to approve of any more suppressing of the documents. He will want the truth to come out. He's not going to protect Harry and Meghan. So there's like Andrew, his security and his secrets, Harry's security and his secrets. Everybody's got everything on the line right now. William and Catherine, their security and their secrets. Everybody's still asking, what's really going on with Kate? Do we really know what's going on? It's not just to stir up trouble. I mean, some people have some serious, questions going on still. Yeah, and the king. We don't really know what's going on with the king. Everybody's got lots of questions about all kinds of things. Right now, it's all about the security. Next week, it'll be something else. They're the gift that just keeps on giving. There's always something that we've got to look at and try to get on top of when you're talking about the royal family. So that's what we are going to continue to do. Take care, everybody. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment. Check me out on Rumble and on X. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.